Welcome to Miller's Monsters. I'm Mr. Beelzebub. This here is Count Luna, and behind me is 3/4 of Edgar P. the Scully. And, we're talking Shin Godzilla today. And finally, after years and years, I did get to see it. It's on Amazon Prime. Only cost $4 to make, but let's go over a few of the numbers before we dig into this movie. And it was released in July 2016, and it had a budget of $15 million, and it grossed $78 million and was the highest grossing live action film in Japan that year, and also won Film of the Year. It was highly acclaimed, was nominated for many awards, and won many awards. This is a reboot. This is not a continuation of any series or any era of Godzilla. So when you're watching this movie, keep that in mind, because nobody knows, when the creature first appears, if this is Godzilla or not, until later in the movie. So before I get into the movie, please take a moment, hit the subscribe button, ring the bell, hit the like button, set yourself up for notifications so you don't miss another episode, and please tell your friends to like and subscribe as well. And as always, I thank you in advance. So the synopsis of Shin Godzilla is this, and Godzilla appears, but not in its already familiar state, but he has to go through some growing throughout this movie. And so once his first appearance is, what it is a play on the government, on how they can react to this, what they're doing to stop Godzilla. It's not even called Godzilla in the beginning, and in its very early form, it's more like a sea serpent, okay? And I guess I should say there probably will be a few spoilers in here, but not too much. It's a 2016 movie, so most of you have probably seen it. But if you haven't, I'm not going to spoil anything that much, except for maybe the a few descriptions of Godzilla. And again, he's like a sea serpent creature in the beginning, and finally comes to land, and in a most unfamiliar form, almost it reminded me of a yokai in the form that he was in. And the one unnerving thing about this original form, or its second phase, I should say, when it came on land, is the damn thing had no eyelids, and its eyes were just wide open staring at you, and it made me uneasy watching it. I have no idea why that freaked me out, but it did. And once this yokai-like creature rumbles along the towns again, and it seems to be heading for Tokyo as usual, they try to stop it, but he morphs into a more familiar Godzilla form. And then again we're taken to watch Godzilla, and he is just walking through the city now, destroying everything, and we get snippets of how the government reacts to this and how they plan to defend their city. And I just dropped the bowl of treats on the floor. As they do this, Godzilla begins to overheat and goes back into the ocean. And again, we go back into how the government is handling it or mishandling it. The U.S. gets involved, at this point. And, a disgraced doctor that's been studying nuclear power effects on genetics. His papers are discovered, and they start to decipher that and have to come up with a plan. A younger aide in the Prime Minister's office is set in charge of that, and so we go through that bit, and then finally Godzilla comes back in even a more familiar form. Only this time he looks a lot like a T-Rex. The face is familiar, but the arms are very short, you know, like a T-Rex and that. And finally, they're able to defeat Godzilla, and that is pretty much the synopsis. I could have kept it short and said Godzilla comes along, the government stumbles along, Godzilla's defeated. Okay, that would have been a quicker synopsis than what I just gave you. But this is not only a Godzilla movie, and it's a good Godzilla movie. Remember, it's a reboot, so you know you're reliving everything again. And it's interesting to see the development of Godzilla and how he was created, you know, from nuclear fallout. Okay, and that's all I'll say about that. And what can happen, and it's more. It's not just a Godzilla movie. Godzilla kind of just rambles through town in this. He does acquire a few new special abilities, particularly with his fire breath, okay, or thermal breath, and I'm stumbling for words here, so. But it's more about the government and how the government has become archaic and can't handle any kind of crisis, much like I couldn't handle speaking a minute ago. So, you know, the government itself, the prime minister and the cabinet are all elder gentlemen, and they cannot make a decision at all without referring to, you know, different committees, and it hinders their decision making. And you know, causes in the end more deaths than should be needed, and how to come up with a reaction to this. And it kind of, in my mind, with the team that comes up with the way to defeat Godzilla, which is a younger team, not politicians, just put together, just normal people, even volunteers, have come up with a way to defeat Godzilla and how to react to this crisis. And you know, maybe it shows time for a new guard, okay, or a new government. In my opinion, that's what the movie's speaking about. But it got great reviews in Japan, mixed reviews in the Western areas, you know, mainly because, you know, the U.S. isn't depicted in the best of light, but, you know, kind of like bullies and that, but that ties into how, you know, the Japanese prime minister is pushed around, okay, in this situation a little bit by the U.S. and the UN, instead of making a firm decision about the affairs of their own country. So it's a very good movie. I do recommend it. 3.5 out of 5. So it's only $4 on Prime. If you haven't seen it, definitely I'd go watch it, especially if you're a Godzilla fan like I am. And it won't disappoint you. You may come away, you know, like, yeah, it was okay. But it seems to be this is going to be just a standalone Godzilla movie. Obviously, you know, Godzilla -1 that's coming out later is not related to this movie at all. So if you like what you saw, hit subscribe, ring the bell, hit the like button, set yourself up for notifications, and please tell your friends to visit and watch and subscribe as well. I thank you in advance, and I will talk to you later.